Hello, Internet people. How are you today? You can't answer. This is my video. Today I would like to talk about grammar Nazis. Okay. I spend a lot of time on Facebook, and I encounter these people all the time. It's hard to have an intelligible conversation with anybody without finding one or two in the group who just can't help themselves but bitch and piss and moan about how good or how bad your spelling is. I personally try very hard to spell things right and, you know, put good English out there. But to be totally honest, I really don't give a shit. Honestly, if I spell the word phrase, for example, this was one I ran into the other, is F-R-A-Z-E, and just can't figure out that it's actually spelled P-H, does it really matter? Does that make the content of what we were talking about? Like, for example, this was a meme, so it clearly didn't even have access to a spell check on Photoshop or other things like that. So, and of course the person immediately pointed out they ignored the point of what was being said in the meme and went straight to, yeah, but they spelled phrase wrong. Honestly, I'd looked at the meme several times and I had gone, for at least for me, completely unnoticed. I thought the meme had made a pretty good point. But, you know, doesn't matter. Apparently to grammar Nazis, it doesn't matter whether you have a good point or not. It's just that as long as it's spelled right. Honestly, English is a really hard language to spell in. There are silent letters. English spelling is awful. It's 99% memorization. It's and not all of it makes sense. It really doesn't. I mean, why have P-H-R-A-S-E or I don't even know if I'm spelling it right now. Frankly, and I don't really care. I'm just really sick of these people. All they do is muck up the situation and cause everybody grief. And they all think they're so and the thing that makes it worse is they just feel like they're so goddamn superior to you because they remember how to spell bullshit. Honestly, I'm done with it. I've spent hundreds of hours by this point arguing with people, saying, you know what? Does that really matter? Does it really matter how it's spelled? Now, I understand if you didn't understand what they were saying, or if they said something that was the opposite. I'm cool with clarification. Don't get me wrong. I have no issue with clarification. What I do take issue with is this being an issue every time. Honestly, writing down a Facebook post is not exactly high art, frankly. And if I'm going to have to go through 3 or 4 revisions of a barely paragraph length post just for spelling errors and grammatical content, then honestly, what's the point of even talking? People don't do this in real life. Like, for example, if I walk up to you and say, hello, you know what I think? I think polar bears are pretty cute. panda bears, do you look at that person and say, did you say that correctly? Because when we're talking, there's no goddamn spelling. When we're talking, that's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. And the thing is that when you're writing, it's somewhat irrelevant as well. The English language hasn't always been spelled this way. The people get this feeling of ridiculous superiority. Like, you didn't spell it right. Now, I don't know. I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm starting to block people on Facebook. I think that if people do it on this channel, not that anybody ever writes anything on this channel, I'm gonna block them too. It has no place in our discourse. It just mucks things up, and they feel superior about mucking things up for everyone. I saw one meme where they referred to them as internet killjoys, and I'll agree with that. Just anytime anyone's having fun, grammar Nazis pop up to make everybody's time miserable. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Now, I understand if you're writing a book or something else that gets revision after revision, and you've got not only spell correct, but you also have editors. Now, in that case, I understand why you'd want perfect spelling, why you'd want any of that. I just, at this point, I'm sick of it. I mean, alright, in full disclosure, I'm dyslexic. So for me, it's super hard. I work very hard at being able to write it all. English is ridiculous. And when other people make simple mistakes, as long as they're intelligible, as long as I can understand what they're saying, there's no point. Now, if somebody wrote something and it just made no sense at all, then I would ask for clarification. I go, Spordunk? What do you mean? Doesn't make me a grammar Nazi, it just makes me someone who needs clarification. But these grammar Nazis feel like everything has to be perfect. And you know, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I've literally hundreds upon hundreds of conversations have just been killed dead in their tracks. The point of which completely lost by pages and pages of dumb ass shit about the grammar of the statement. Facepalm. I had to get that off my chest. I run into it almost every day. Honestly, even if you're not dyslexic, I feel your pain. I'm dyslexic. And you know what? It's easy to miss stuff like P-H-R-A-Z-E or P-R-A-S-E-C. I don't even know. I mean, I use spell check. Otherwise, and there are so many times where I would love to just write a sentence, but then I can't figure out how to spell the one important word that made the sentence work. So I have to change the whole sentence. And all because I know some fucking grammar Nazi is going to go, you spelled that wrong, blah, 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 and show their fucking asses. Because I can't figure out how to spell one of the many words in my towering vocabulary. Grammar Nazis, you fucking suck.